back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4 with the Road to 56 mod. Now, how do I put this? The Road to 56 people might not like what I'm going to say, but in my opinion, and obviously that it's my opinion, and I'm sure many others, I'm not saying most, saying many others I'm sure have to agree with me, that whether a game or the mod, if it does things unrealistic, it's broken. And I feel very strongly that way, that if, well, what if they start using Zeppelins to bomb London? Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, but by 1940, Zeppelins would all be shot out of the sky. Sorry, still waking up, getting a drink here. So, or what if, the Martians landed in, somewhere and started attacking? Okay. That's how I feel without some significant explanation of things happening unrealistically, politically, diplomatically, militarily, however you want to put this. Well, why wouldn't, let's just ask this realistic question. Why wouldn't Luxembourg defeat Germany in 1939? Please explain to me. Give me any possible reason why Luxembourg couldn't defeat Germany in 1939. You guys, you can post below. I'd like to hear. I mean, does anybody have any good reason why that wouldn't happen? Because of course it could. There could have been a super military genius that somehow he yeah, right. Okay. So how do you end up with Britain at war with Germany and Italy, and France not, but France at war with the Soviet Union? How? How, can somebody explain what sort of Alice in Wonderland, what sort of the other side of the mirror world it would take for that to possibly happen? Okay. How? So that tells me this Road to 56 is broken. Now, recently I noticed not a whole lot of new comments, but a lot of new views on my Total War series. And then, of course, the Total War series don't like my conclusion. Developers had a bit of a controversy with them over my conclusions. Now, and one of their things that they were, the one or two people that we're talking about, well, we're just mod makers and we're trying our best. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. But still, that doesn't make it not broken. It just means you're trying your best and you haven't, done a job that satisfies me as a player. And so maybe that's what I would hear from the Road to 56 people. Well, we're trying. Yeah, okay. And that's a legit thing. Trying is a legit thing. I'm not trying to diminish trying. But that still doesn't mean it's working in a good manner. So we're faced with this mess. We'll call it this mess right now. And I'm unsure of what to do. And I hope you're still around. I had one person post, well, simulations are okay, but they're not that interesting. What people want to see are other, I forget exactly what he said, other results or other options. Is why people actually want to sort of see what goes on from here and why, how the game plays out. And I replied, well, okay, if there's a large enough viewing audience for this, now I'd also like to know why. I'm serious, why you want to see this. Now, I get the idea that if it's a simulation of World War II and everything goes exactly as it did in World War II, what's the point? And I totally get that, okay? I really do. And I, after watching one simulation of World War II, would not want to watch anymore, even if I would watch through that. What I'm talking about is something that's realistic. Say, I don't know, Germany decides not to invade Norway or Denmark. And there's good reasons to decide not to. Let's just say Germany decides not to invade Norway or Denmark. Okay, and play out the war with that. And there may be reasons, okay, and see how that works. That would be a realistic possibility. A realistic possibility. Or Italy stays out of the war. Italy stays neutral. Okay, doesn't join the Axis. Hello, Lum. How you doing? So what would the war be like with Italy being neutral? That is a legitimate thing because I can give you good reasons, both from the from the German perspective and from the Italian perspective, especially the Italian perspective. They weren't ready for the war. God, no, they weren't. They weren't anywhere ready for the war. And any rational person would have seen that, and I would say Mussolini did see that. It was like, oh hell, Germany is about ready to, win the war, win it. We better get in and get our piece of conquest before it's over. So he jumps into it, not realizing that Germany has just won the Battle of France, not the war. And so he gets screwed. So there's good rational reasons why Italy would stay, hello, Ari, would stay neutral in the war, okay? And so I can postulate good rational things, like good rational thing we could postulate is Spain joining the Axis. They thought Hitler's winning the war against the British and whatnot, and Spain wants Gibraltar back and maybe wants to pick up, whether out of France or out of Britain or somewhere, wants to pick up some colonial empire or whatnot. So we can see a rational, within reason, how would that be different, the outcome of the war? We could also see a rational, what if, say, either Italy or Germany did not put as much resources into the nationalists, and the Soviet Union putting a little more resources into the Republican, and you come out with a Republican / communist Bolshevik Spain. How would that be different? Okay, how would that affect things differently? That I would be fascinated in seeing. Let's just for the moment postulate. Okay, not this ridiculous, silly border gore junk. I often don't get people's criticism for border gore, especially like in an EU campaign, knowing how either Prussia looked within the, Holy Roman Empire, Confederation of the Rhine, what post-Napoleonic thing with, not just East Prussia and West Prussia, but, the big chunks, but Prussia owning bits and pieces everywhere. Border gore, or the Bourbons owning various bits and pieces, or the Habsburgs. Yeah, but this is just, especially in the context of the time period, this is just ridiculous border gore. But yeah, so yeah, at some point border gore is a problem. But so what would it be with the Soviet Union, sort of the border in 1940 something or whatever, getting sort of expanded Soviet Union with a, let's say, 2 to 3 years in a Bolshevik version of, not just a quote-unquote Republican version, but they may still call it the Republic of Spain or the People's Republic of Spain, but a Bolshevik-oriented Spanish government. What would Hitler's calculation be like? I mean, that would be a very interesting thing. You have Vichy France being sort of neutral. Let's presume that still happens the way it did historically. And so you're sort of not kind of, invading from Vichy territory, maybe, or what would Hitler do there? And so you have the big thrust into the Soviet Union, but you also realize whether it's off this little bit of corridor here or a general. And they probably would have pushed at least a general thrust from parts of Vichy without occupying Vichy, very, very possibly. And I could see, especially with a Soviet border down here, or a Soviet puppet state down here, bordering on France, the French letting that happen without breaking Vichy as a somewhat neutral place, generally speaking, or whatever, without it being fully occupied kind of situation. And so how much in German resources or German and Italian resources, there would obviously be some Italian resources, I'm sure. Remember, partially heavily it's shipping is how much Italy can support militarily in here, but it's also infrastructure here of getting not just from the port, getting how much ammo or fuel or food can you get to the port, but it's also getting to the front that limits the Italian army. Italy could have had the units to easily 4 times the amount of units, strength, equipment to put into North Africa, at least at some points. Now, obviously, at some points it starts, getting bogged down in Greece and other things, but it does, at some point in time, it can easily reinforce the situation in North Africa, but it's just shipping, it's lack of motorized units. That's sort of why the Africa Corps is sent down, because it's sort of very motorized, relatively small. The Africa Corps never exceeds, I would say, it probably never gets over 1/3 the strength of the until the very end, until the Tunisian sort of campaign, but never more than like 1/3 of the strength of the Italians down here. So it's sort of more of a really good units, smaller, often taking up more supplies than the average Italian units. But Italy could have pumped in more effort there. It was shipping, local logistics constraints, so they could have easily had the units and supply into Spain. So because Hitler knows for a fact that as soon as he invades the Soviet Union, Britain's going to start cooperating with them, and if this is a Bolshevik puppet state, Britain's going to immediately start landing troops to help the Spanish out to fight. So he's setting up a 2-front war. That would be a very interesting thing to see, especially in something that's a little more like Hearts of Iron 3 than Hearts of Iron 4 in the realistic unit size appreciation for the armies, manpower and whatnot. Sorry, I'll get to some. Hey, Toyjet, I'll get to some of the comments on the chat in a moment, but I'm sort of on a roll a bit with this. So you can see how I can postulate a realistic what if in history, and how do you adjust to Germany needing to do a 2-front blitzkrieg, because you can't give Spain the time to, you can't have Spain be a sort of a super Greece. Let the British move in and support the locals. How would that change the war? And so that I completely get and agree that would be a interesting historical what if, because it's something that is quite plausible. It's sort of like, we could do another one is, well, what if Yugoslavia joins the Axis? Well, they sort of had joined the Axis without, I don't think, actually declaring a war. And I say that is that what is being in the Axis or not, and in game terms or in historical terms, that you signed on the anti-Comintern Pact? Well, maybe. You signed up to the Tripartite Pact. Definitely, you're coming into the Axis, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're at war. And so then, but once Yugoslavia is sort of pressured into that, then there's a coup, and they, in essence, join the Allies. So we could do a Yugoslavia going either way, what ifs, as well as, because we do know that Mussolini was trying to push much more than Germany, though Hitler did have some territorial ambitions in the area a bit. What if they just out and out invade Yugoslavia? Those are all reasonable what ifs, but it's not a reasonable what if, I guess, say either Turkey decides to invade Yugoslavia or Britain just decides to invade Yugoslavia because, hey, it's 1938. We can, because oh man, Daniel from Paradox, really good playtester and excellent, probably one of the best Hearts of Iron 4 players. He'll start out and go, oh, I can, generate, I'm in Bulgaria and I can generate, casus belli with Yugoslavia. So, wow, I can grab that up and okay, now I organize that up and now. And he's just playing this as a game. And that's okay. You can do that. People can do that. And people like doing that. That, to me, is, what the hell? What the hell? Why even have a map of Earth? Let's just create random maps. Create countries, And then, hey, form alliances. Form, see where you can pick it up. Why make it even any relation to reality at that point, to me? To me, at that point, why call it World War II? Why even have these nasty Nazis? We'll just, because I get, boy, I don't know how I would feel if I was a German player, knowing that my country were the really bad guys. So were the Soviets, but we're the really bad guys in all this. And now I'm playing as the Germans. Yeah, I know my grandfather or whatever was just a German soldier, and he was doing his bit for his country. There's got to be a real sort of conflict in your mind there. Why even have all this stuff? Let's just get rid of Nazis and communists and whatever else and have faction blocks. Red faction, blue faction, green faction, orange faction, and let's just, mix it all up and play, Risk or something. And if that's the game that you want to play, great, fine, good. That is a very good mental development of various military and diplomatic type skills if you're trying to develop alliances and doing all this stuff. And so you just have a complete and total sandbox. And let's go for it. And they can be really, really fun games. I'm not trying to diminish that. But why even have World War II? Why even have any of this stuff? I don't get it. Now, I'm trying to produce, I know this is a long time and half the people or more have already left, but I'm trying to present a good show here. If there's a lot of interest in this, I'm willing to play it. No. Gamer Rant, supreme quality content, good. I'm willing to play it because if there's enough interest in this, and I'm honest, and I will look at the chat here in case some of you guys, I haven't really, other than noting that people are commenting, haven't really been reading it. I do want to see what they have to say, but other viewers later on YouTube, I'd love to know what your thinkings and whys, and And see, I have an entirely different feeling if you've sort of created the Kaiserreich world, and I sort of explore their thoughts on the Kaiserreich world, and I had fun with that because that's taking a sort of lunatic rethinking out of post World War I German victory, but it sort of all held together, and that was cool, and I really do mean that. So if there's enough interest, we will continue this. So don't think that this is necessarily over. But if the interest isn't very good, because I don't find this super fun, I'm probably not going to continue. Okay, let's see what all of my friends have been saying while I've been ranting here. Okay, haven't seen this happen in mod again. Yes, Arno, going back to that, it very well may be that I started in 40 and that kicked that off, but I'm also looking at, do 2 or 3 months or 4 months really make that big of a difference? Why must it so narrowly follow there? Okay, at least it would be the same, but without as much failure. Yes, Alum. I actually think it would have helped Germany out immensely for Italy to be neutral, because, especially friendly neutral, one, there would be trains going north and south through the Brenner Pass the whole time, so Italy could buy resources on the world market and then resell them, things like oil, resell them into Germany. Sure, at some point some countries may cut Italy off, but just stay neutral. Britain, the US, and others will not. I can't imagine them attacking Italy. So the German southern Mediterranean front is just about solid. I guess they could land in the south of France, but still, that really reduces down. So if you had a strongly armed Italy as a southern barrier, that would have been able to concentrate Germany's attacks either against Britain, air, naval, even land against Britain, but I'm thinking mostly air and submarine type actions against Britain, and then also focus all of the armored forces. No needing to keep some armored forces in North Africa or later on armored forces in Italy. All the armored forces pushing in against the Soviet Union, and that would have changed the outcome greatly. So that okay, almost got run over by a car. That's right. Oh, sorry to hear that, Arno. Sorry to hear that. I'm doing very well, Toy Jet. Hello, Warrior Donut. Want to play Empires? Yeah, Empires is looking good. You should be enjoying that one. Yeah, random country play. Yeah, there are. And if you're just Lum on things like that, if I was just looking for who's the best player, I would want a random country kind of situation, so that it's not, you don't necessarily know the strategy of France or know the strategy of Germany or whatnot. So you're just, and so that everybody is somewhat equal in its chances of starting without a preset thing. So if we were just looking at a pure, competition, pure whatnot, I would not be against that idea. Area. Well, it's sort of the one in full realism, but they learned that there's a difference between a game and game in real life. Cool, you're in Scotland. I love Scotland. Welcome to Holland. Yeah, the Overloon Museum looks really cool. Okay. I'm doing well. And hello, Tippett. So yeah, so that's sort of my thoughts on this. So we are, and not everything is, and I know this is quite honestly a mix of Hearts of Iron 4 and Road to 56 problems. Yes, we did start this in 40. But we have 38 days left for Weserübung, and then we have war with France because they did not go to war with us. And then we've got to do around Maginot and all kinds of stuff. So we're a bit delayed here on our schedule. Poland is called France as our enemy, so we now have France in the war. Okay, well, we have a few French units over here to deal with, I thought. Okay, they've got war with France bypass. Okay, so well, that's now happened. I don't know how Poland was able to call them in at this point and not before. I want to see, after all this rant, nope, they're still at war with the Soviet Union. Okay. Wondered if somehow there was a... Neutral? You're neutral? Well, Norway. Norway. Ah, well, we already have Italy pushing in the south. Okay, so let's send you and select all. You come down here and help. Norway learned the lesson that Switzerland already knew. If you want to be neutral, you need to be armed very much to make sure that nobody wants to come into your country. Ground attack. Operate there. Ground attack, and you operate over France, over Italy. And then we're also going to put in you operate over some type of cheese. Yes, no. If you want peace, prepare for war. Doesn't mean go to war, it means prepare for war. Be ready for war. Be capable of war. Be so capable of war that no one wants to even think about war with you. Okay, let's grab a few of these and set them up together. But march so you can regain some organization. Since you're here, you see about cutting them off. Well, actually, you guys come down this way. Yeah, no, you really, single tank I know. Norway was looking and going, hey, we've got water to protect us and things. Nothing's going to happen to us. But you really can't rely upon those kind of things. You need to be as armed to the teeth as possible. Okay, well. So far, nothing with that. Now, we need more tungsten here. Well, let's get some more from the Soviet Union. That will do about half. Norway, Sweden, we're sort of maxed out with that. Portugal would be a bit difficult, so would the others. So we'll let that rest there. Okay, you can send expeditionary forces, you can send... There's a lot of them, but not the king. We cool with the Swedish king. If it wasn't the Germans attacking now, it would have been the Brits. You're absolutely right, Harry. And see, the Brits wouldn't have attacked had you looked super strong. And this is, yeah. Oh, we also can... Well, let's... Okay, equipment. We need artillery. Well, that's the only thing we're using slightly more. You know what we really need are more fighters. Okay, I know we're producing a bit of an older one, but we're just trying to... Well, actually, let's... Okay, air experience. I don't know if we have enough to... Okay, yeah, that we have just enough to do a better engine. 109 or 190A. So we're keeping our, just like the Germans did, keeping these in production without changing them because they're efficiently done, starting that production. We were kind of relying on the Royal Navy and support from British should war come. That was why we allowed them to keep their illegal transmitters from their embassy. All in all, too little too late for these hoys. Yeah. A little too little. A little too late. Okay, well. I think we're still going to see about going around the Maginot. The right ascendant in France. How interesting. Oh, I thought I sent these guys over here. Thanks, Arno. I do appreciate that. It mostly just tells Twitch that, hey, this is pretty good content. Maybe we should recommend it generally in the lobby kind of things to people who are looking for this or related games. Oh, that's Italy. They had been planning an invasion up here, and they had been, or they are still planning an invasion here. Yeah, no, I'm not insane. The AI is the one that's doing that. I'm looking at a naval invasion up here to Bergen and an airborne invasion into Oslo, with some follow-on troops and units. Let's see. No. Here we're assigning them to here. And we're assigning these guys to here. So that Heil gets some more reinforcements. Because of wacky AIs. And that I do know for a fact is part of the reason why people like alternative versions of than historical. Because the wacky AIs are so bad that they want to do something that's interesting. Well, why? Why land up here at all in Narvik? It used to be with Hearts of Iron 3, that was one of the basically required victory provinces you needed to take. Right now, basically, if you take Oslo and Stavanger or whatever, and these sort of southern areas, and they normally move the capital out to Bergen, take capital, take that. You normally just take this, and the rest seems to fall. So why go up here? Yeah, I know why they did in real life, but in the game, why? You haven't made it a requirement to get there. If they do get a division or two up there, it would be bad, absolutely. Okay, I want to declare war on Norway first without going for Denmark. So because I just conquer focus, right? Because I want to see how well this kicks off. Not so well. Okay. That is of interest. Not so well indeed. We're going to lose those guys up there. Go after shipping up in there. Let's send that up there. Give them offshore artillery. Yeah, no, they're gonna lose. Lost one division. Okay. Let's send in Heil's group here. Do we have control there enough? I don't know that we do. Yep, we've lost that. Okay, that didn't work. I wanted to try that though. Oh. You have to declare war here. No, not unknown focus. What am I doing? Declare war. Let's see, here we are. We're going to add we're going to patrol here and here. Oh, how do I... It always confuses me. How do I deselect this area of operation? Operating in Lower Baltic. Shift click. Okay, that's... Thank you. Yep. That maybe did it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, good. Now they're going. Shift right click. Okay. Oh, come on. Well, they can't get through here. That's why. They're not being allowed out. Oh, hell. They're trapped on the wrong side. Okay, guys. How did... Back on my rant of unrealistic things. How can Denmark have an army that could stop 8 German divisions? Yeah, I thought they would have been able to get through the Kiel Canal. No, you go north. Okay, I guess we can get through the Kiel Canal here. I just figured it would have realized that, gone through the Kiel Canal. What? No, I want you patrolling here. Oh, I don't know that any of this is set right. I don't know. Okay, you're going out there. No, this is still, I think, well, let's... Yeah, okay, you're going back to there. I don't know. They improved the naval system, but still make it too complicated to figure out. But only manually. Yeah, I see that, and we got through here manually here. You go out there, and we can add there to this. They're battling some forces there. Okay, well. Okay. British send military response. Police is now as... Okay. I don't... Fish power. Okay, we can do some more research. Improve our artillery, that will be good. And now we want to do round Maginot. We're just sort of playing with the French down here. I want one division from here. I know we're overdoing the odds, I'm just trying to mess with them. Oh good, they pushed me back. How did they do that? Okay, what the hell are we? Oh, we're fighting two divisions? Oh, is there some... Well, let's go to extensive. There's some sort of mobilization function that I should have done that I didn't, is why this is happening. Like Black Ice has. That is a thing in Black Ice, that if you don't mobilize, or you don't, your forces are a lot weaker. Oh good, they're pushing in on me quite effectively here. Yeah, that just isn't realistic. Okay, well, you get down here fast. We have a bunch of you. You can come into here. I'm not complaining about the French being offensive. Hey, they're always offensive, but hey, what? That's another thing. Okay, these guys are down here. Very good. There we go. That should keep the line strong enough. Let's throw in one armored division down in here. quite honestly just don't effing get all of this. And this could be my fault. Maybe I'm just not understanding why they're able to hold me up. Yeah, I know I'm crossing the river, but I also got these guys supporting from here. I understood why my paratroopers died up there. That we could readily argue either way about, but we control the air up here. Okay. Let's add some Stukas to. We're just talking about these guys here. Come here, defensive, tactical bombardment. Another group of Stukas here. Do offensive into France. Tactical bombardment around Maginot, very good. Now up here, Benelux, and a second 100. Okay, into Benelux. Yeah, both. That now, fighters. Okay, well we have heavy fighters. We need more fighters. We have these early interwar sucky ones, but okay. After fighters and bombers over there once you get the chance. Back left, Denmark, then you can surround the two divisions holding without getting, yeah. Yeah, they can be over, maybe I should describe it, I've under dealt with my divisions. I've tried to, yeah, we do have enough. So, okay. We'll add a bunch of artillery, and we can do some reconnaissance here for our standard infantry divisions. Okay, that didn't leave us with enough artillery, so we need more artillery. And let's look at our, like I say, some of this can be my fault. Like I'm not, let's see, armored battalions, medium. Yeah, addition will be, okay, we have enough, so I want to do this. And here, motorized infantry, a better balance. Okay, it looks like we have enough. Good. Yeah. Let's just try that. Let's. Now with more artillery. And for national focus, We can build the Panzer Army. And, well, let's save it for next episode. Let's see how the invasion of the Low Countries, we're going to go visit Arno's home, goes in the next episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. And of course, like I say, I would really love to hear what you think about continuing this series with somewhat wacky results that we've gotten. And yeah, maybe partially my fault for not sticking close enough to the script. So please post your questions, comments, suggestions. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.